was never in question. It never should have been in doubt. Sidney Crosby reminded everybody why in the most compelling possible way yesterday. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning, and I do mean good. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Sid's a Penguin for life, as everyone who actually has followed his career and his personality and his adventures unwaveringly knew he would be through this entire summer. He signed a 2-year extension with an average annual value of what else? $8.7 million. The same figure he's accepted, and I do mean accepted, from the team for 13 years leading into this extension. And unlike a lot of cases in professional sports where you're free and probably correct in rolling your eyes when someone says it wasn't about the money, it was about this or that, or love the team, love the city, want a chance to win. That actually is and was his motivation. And I'm sorry for those of you who've been listening to me talk about this for months. This is all a repeat because I've been telling you this all along. Sid can't leave the Penguins. Sid can't leave Pittsburgh. They are all one and the same, including, most importantly, in his mind. So first, I'm going to share what he said in speaking to reporters yesterday about why he's always been so committed to the franchise and to the city.
The support, the people, the fans, the organization, just everything over the years. It's been really special, and I've had some incredible experiences and memories. So I just want to continue that. Basically, I think that having the opportunity to play with Gino and Tanger this long, which is pretty rare. Being part of an organization like this for as long as I have has been really special.
Okay, so he said it. Again, anybody can say it. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. But let's have a little fun here. If you go back over the life of Sid's contract, not the extension, the full contract, the 13-year deal, now plus this one, and then you look at what the NHL's individual max salary has been throughout that span, and you've seen some guys, most of them grossly overpaid in Toronto, because people up there who claim to know hockey better than anybody else actually will grossly overinflate their own talent, hype it up to the point where like an average dude like Nikolai Antropov ends up being some big star. The players feed off of that. The agents feed off of that. And they go back to Toronto management and they get, man, I don't even want to know what Mitch Marner makes. A guy who's an absolute phantom in the playoffs. And he's up into 8 figures for an AAV. He has made way more money than Sid has. So that in turn eats up your salary cap. And then all you've got left is, Marner and Austin Matthews and William Nylander and the defenseman who cheap shotted the Ottawa player for having the audacity to slap an empty netter in, and Morgan Riley, that's his name. And then they don't build up a supporting cast, and they don't get any goaltending, and everyone up there goes, wow, why can't we win with all these awesome superstars? The reason you can't win is that you don't have a Sid. And the reason you don't have a Sid is because you're not Pittsburgh, where the winning is what matters most. Sid's talked about this himself. It's a culture that's in the city. We've won a lot of championships here across a lot of different sports. And as Paul Skeens is finding out right now over on the North Shore, you can be big, super awesome individual star, but if your team stinks, no one's going to the ballpark. And guess what? No one's going to the ballpark even when he pitches anymore. Sid has always loved that about this city. And for that reason and so many more, he's just become attached. He understands that his legacy is forever linked to the Penguins and to Pittsburgh. And he's not the kind of guy that's going to go pull a Raymond Bourque and win some asterisk-type cup by skating with some superstar-laden lineup for a couple of months. He wants to do it here. He wants to do it with Gino, with Chris Letang, and with these fans. And at the same time, the competitor in him was smart to utilize this unique leverage that he had after a 13-year contract had been overfulfilled to the extreme to ensure that a general manager in Kyle Dubas, who had just dealt away the best left winger he'd ever had in Jake Gensel, was going to stick with a plan, if not necessarily the one that Sid always had had in mind, to give the team a real chance to compete, even with the better players being in their mid-30s or so. There's no way anyone could dislike the work that Dubas has done this summer. I love it. It couldn't be clearer that Sid appreciates it and believes in it. And now all of us benefit that he's here till the end. And you want to know who's the happiest about that? Yeah, he is. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from Gabe, and it's a timely one. He says, hey, DK, does Sid move into the NHL's top 10 all-time in scoring this year? He's currently at 1,502 points. He needs 89 in the coming season to pass up Phil Esposito. I'm thinking we see that milestone, but I don't know that it's guaranteed. Well, Gabe, nothing's guaranteed because we're talking about health here. But if we're talking about the kind of Sid that we've seen the past couple of seasons in which he's logged every game, he's avoided really even those nagging, lingering, off to the side kind of injuries where you can just kind of push through it and then have it taken care of in the offseason. And as a result, Sid has remained a point-a-game player. And what you're describing by saying that you think he could get 89 points is that he would continue to be durable and available and that he would just keep being Sid. 82 games, 89 points seems plenty plausible. But if you want me to put it in a different way, in a way more fun way, when Sid got his 82nd point last season, that was the 19th time he'd finished a season averaging a point a game. He shares that record currently with none other than Wayne Gretzky, the most prolific, if not the most talented, player of all time. So if Sid were to get a 20th, and I know that this little streak matters to him, then he tops Gretzky, obviously. But he also then puts himself into position to hold a real live and precious scoring record. And if you think about the one thing about Sid's career that's always kind of felt like, man, but if only he had played in the 80s, or if only he'd been this or that, or didn't have to endure some of the slogs the NHL was putting on ice earlier in his career. Well, this one's a scoring mark. This one isn't best 200-foot player or best grinder. Never tell him about best grinder. He hates it. Or anything like that. This is just pure points. Anybody want to bet against him doing that? Want to bet against him? Well, that'd be kind of like betting against him finishing out his career in Pittsburgh. I appreciate the question, Gabe. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We're going to do another one of these tomorrow on the opening day of training camp up in Cranberry.